but oh no. Oh no. It happened. I've changed. It's too late. Save yourself. Save yourself while you still can. Run. Run. Hey everybody, it's your boy. What's up? So here we are at the end of the season. It's been a pretty good 8 episodes. We've explored a lot of topics. So I've given up all hope of making it with the channel. And so I thought the best theme for the last episode of the season would be Doom. Doom. As in meta. Meta is doomed. And I wanted to kind of explain the reasons why. I'm tempted to do like a list, like a top 10, but I'm a little too lazy with this to actually think of 10 different reasons. So I'm just going to kind of get into things. Now, as you can see here, I have come to, I think, one of the most important spots in the metaverse, which is character creation area. And as you can see to my right, you have your hyper corgis. And then to my left, you have your very selection of what the bobbits will become. So if you happen to watch one of my previous videos, as I explained, the future is corgis, specifically the rise of the master hyper-intelligent corgi race that will enslave humanity and bring about a new world order. And as you can see, the metaverse is already well aware of this. And so you have here your hyper-evolved corgis, which, part corgi, part human, all the best attributes of either. And then over here, of course, the bobbits, which will, start to diversify and take many forms. I'd say about 50 years after the point of that book. Now, as I said, the metaverse, which we're in here, is well aware of this fact. And that's what I kind of want to talk about is, where things are headed, because everyone's talking about meta and you see a lot of news articles and you see talk and Mark is a fellow lizard person, as anyone you ask will tell you. And I don't want to say I'm proud of what he's done, as we'll get into it. Actually, I'm terrified, and everyone should be terrified of what's going to happen if anyone takes this seriously. And I think that's, at the end of the day, that's really what this is about. How seriously do you want to take this? Do you want to really get freaked out and afraid, or is this just a bit of fun? So I want to get into why meta is doomed, and it is doomed in many ways. Now, it doesn't mean it's not going to work, but it does have a lot of issues right now, and I just want to go through them. So I guess, where should I start? I guess with the gear, the state of the gear right now, there's so many issues with it. Okay. Funny animals have existed in a lot of different media. And if you go way back to the Egyptians, we got our start in comics and pretty much stayed there. I got my start in a Pogo, just as an extra in a scene or two. And kind of stuck around in print for a while. A lot of my friends went on to animation. That's fine. I'm happy for them. They went through a lot of changes too that I haven't. And I've kind of just stuck around in the background. I've gotten a few breaks here and there. A few video game deals. Just various things. You might not have seen me. Until the show really took off, and then that went on for a while. But it's always been kind of in a different format from this, and this is kind of new now. Actually, it's real time computer animation, motion detecting, live voice, music if you want it, which I don't have right now because I turned this music off. I'm sorry, and the possibilities are endless. And that's kind of the thing, is that you're making a transition from things like you take a cartoon where it has to be drawn a certain way to work, and things have to be consistent, up until last year when Smiling Friends came out. Awesome fucking show, by the way. That one guy that has that really nasally voice and you can hear him breathing all the time. He's a real inspiration to this channel. So this is kind of the next step here is you don't just watch the funny animal, you get to be the funny animal. Yay. Or anything else you want. And that's kind of exciting, kind of terrifying, and really cheap too. Now that you can get one of these headsets for, $300, which I don't know if I'd recommend it, considering the side effects of, total break of reality, getting possessed by your character, uh, you know, other things I don't really want to talk about. Let's just say I've seen things here that I don't know if I really wanted to. So we've kind of made our way here. And the thing about a room like this avatar selection general, is these things are all over the place. And as they're, allowing people to come and get their avatars, you know, there's going to be lots of animal people, aren't there? Like people that, have no idea what's going on here. They just see like random, what I think it's a hyena or something, is it? With canines and okay. Anyhow, it's or a robot. You can be a robot. Some people just want to be robots. Uh, Hyper corgi. And they're gonna see all these hyper corgis and think, hey, I can be a hyper corgi too. And that's kind of how the hyper corgi, or just the general corgi overthrow of humanity will proceed. They're the first they normalize it to the young folks, and then it's too late. By that point, you might as well just line up at the local processing plant and give all your possessions to your new corgi overlords, or rabbits or bobbits or the few crows. Just don't not those cats. Okay, the cats don't need your stuff. Don't trust those cats. I hope to do future videos on that, by the way. Just let me know, if you guys have any thoughts on the lore of the corgis, just go ahead and leave a reply. And I might address some of them, some questions, because, as you know, there's additional material and it does run very deep. And like I said, this is the future here. This is the future that they're both preparing us for now, and probably the eventual future of the corgis in general. They don't want to be dogs forever, right? They want to be like cool, fun dog people, cat, whatever these things are. I don't even know anymore, so I don't recognize the colors, and I would have to ask the creator like what species this is. I know it's a hyena, but like I'm kind of confused. Is it really though? I mean, is it just maybe generic mammal thing? Is it even a hyena? If it is a hyena, is it or is it not? To be a hyena or not to be a hyena? I think that is the question. Anyhow, what we were talking about, meta? Oh yeah, meta. So we're oh no, I became a robot. No, we'll dance the robot. Okay, back to my avatar. Oh, that's better. So where were we? Meta, right? So that's my history, and that's I think what we can surmise as far as funny animals go when it comes to this new technology, which is pretty cool. Now, when it comes to actually the company Meta, it's a little different story. Like I said, Mark, fellow lizard person, who, of course, being the cold-blooded, scaly-skinned, slit-eyed creature that he is, of course, upon going to college, his first instinct amongst the humans was to categorize them and rate them, because we like to keep track of the human beings around us. Some are kind, some will step on us and chase us. A few of them will put us in terrariums, and we may or may not survive. So we're always trying to rate the people around us. And Mark was no stranger to this, of course. He created a program that allowed you to rate the women on campus, which is kind of a precursor to the sort of this sort of pass fail system of checks and balances that he would apply to Facebook that we would all then apply to each other, and basically find that, politically speaking, we hate each other, don't we? Unless we happen to agree with someone who's really radical, right? So of course, the natural next thing to do, he went from rating women, and then you're rating like people in general. Now, what if you could create people, based on those ratings? Or what if you could create, you could rate imaginary people? Or what if you could rate people's like thoughts and every behavior and keep track of them? Just to put them on a list with a ranking. And that way it's a lot easier when the time comes, to draw the line, decide is it here or here, or like maybe way up here, as long as it's below Mark, and lizards like him, that's fine. So not all the way up here, like here's Mark, here's the line. Everyone down there though, a lot easier if you've got them all ranked up to just, get rid of them, send them to Mars. So that's the future. On the other hand, I gotta just say, Meta, like, this technology is great, and it's low priced and cheap, and it's fun to use. And if you buy it, you can go, hang out with your friends and taste the future, right? See, then I think that's enough to qualify me for sponsorship, right? According to Pyro's video. I love acting like anybody's watching this. I can just name call like other YouTube celebrities, like I'm one of them. Don't break character, man. But they don't see, the thing is, they used to hang out and stuff, I swear, and they don't call me, they don't talk to me, they don't respond to anything I'm saying. Like, don't they remember my show? Okay, it used to be the biggest thing out there, and like, again, I've tried, I've gone back and looked for it, and I can't find it. I don't know what's going on. It's like nobody knows who I am. Now, as I was saying, so that's, just established that the first reason that Meta is doomed, I think, is because after Facebook, people kind of became aware of the way kind of things were headed, and I don't think they really want that, Mark. Have you like asked anybody before doing any of this? Now, the second reason that Meta is doomed is here, VRChat. The thing is, it exists already. This is a program. You can load any avatar you want. You can go to any world that anyone has created. You can load it infinite number of times. You can make it private or public. You can build your own. All you need is the program. Okay, but then you read about Meta, and you read about what they're doing with Meta, and this idea of like real estate in something that's not real. Can someone please, because I've never seen anyone really explain to this, how outside of a blockchain, which also isn't real, guys, how do you create real estate, not just on Meta, okay, but in the general, metaverse, which they keep trying to push this idea of the metaverse? How do you create something that has value when it's unlimited and can be created at will? Okay, it doesn't work in some basic economic sense that I'm not reading. and oh, by the way, Mark, you can, you're free to also respond to me, because I know you're watching too. You're always watching, aren't you? They're already getting my gulag ready. That 10 years from now they'll be like, we saw that little YouTube thing you did with our headset and we did not approve. You will be thrown down the memory hole forever. So that was the second reason. Where are we up to number 3? I think I'm gonna abandon numbers at this point because I already forgotten what. Like, I don't want to get to like number 8 and forget that I skipped number 7 or something. So anyhow, the next reason, like I said, the gear. This gear sucks. It's hot. It's burning my eyes out. The Oculus that they've sent out is it's great to get into this, but it's goggle simulation. The graphics are great if you plug it into a PC. I'm happy because it's cheaper. It's cheaper than most of the sets out there, so I can afford it. But at the same time, the thing about that price, and they may be selling at a loss. I don't know. The thing about that price is that it's too low. Okay, this is another reason that that Oculus, like let's say this is like the fourth reason that Oculus won't work. The price is too low, and there are too many children on here. Okay, and I mean seriously, like what I said earlier, people are coming on here and clicking on avatars and not really knowing what it is, and they'll continue singing it forever just because it is the song that never ends. Okay, the thing is, it never ends, guys. Just stay away from this. You can go watch other videos, they say the same thing. I would not let my children interact with anything here, but where are the age restrictions? Like 13. And there's age restrictions, but you're a lot less likely to give your kid something that costs $1,000 than something that you paid $300 for, which is about the same as like any other regular video game console. In fact, cheaper. It's an alternative to PlayStation at this point. Okay, and there's games on it, and it's fun, and I'll get to that in a bit. But as far as this avatar thing that they're pushing and this new like reality and just the psychological impact of wearing this for too long, I don't think children should even be touching this. I really don't. Maybe at school for educational applications, or just for games. Again, it's great for games for a little bit, but this thing that they're showing on YouTube where you're actually like becoming another person is I don't think that is the thing that a child who is already becoming another person at that point should be dealing with. It's too much. It's almost too much for regular people, because it's not just the characters, it's the worlds that they get onto. And Meta might be different, but VRChat, you get on there and it's just total chaos. Okay, everything is chaos, and it's great. And for an adult, it's awesome. And for some people, maybe not. Other people, it's great. It's funny. I'll tell you, what has sustained me is just how much I laugh at stuff going on. Even when it looks serious, I'm not laughing at people. It's more like you see something happen that it just seems absolutely bizarre, and it's kind of serious, but it's not happening. And the way people act and talk, and they let loose, and that kind of relaxation that goes with it, it's great. Again, for adults, not for kids. And I think that this strategy of releasing this technology this low is it's damaging the whole thing. Okay, and just like there shouldn't be kids on here, there shouldn't be people that are sensitive to sexual harassment, or people that are sensitive to visualizations, and I don't know. And going back to Meta again, another reason the VRChat will actually work versus Meta is how easy it is to use. I mean, for one thing, you don't even need the VR goggles to use VRChat. You can just load it on your computer. So let's say you want to have like a virtual meeting with some employees for some reason. And I can see all sorts of reasons too. If you want to do like a tour, let's say you've got like a 3D model of a building that you're going to make, and you want to do a tour. Like VRChat, everyone downloads it, they can use whatever avatar they want. Maybe they got just corporate logos for avatars, who cares? But the point is, they're in that world, they load it up, they go through, the mic works, everything's going. Okay, they didn't have to create some avatar in front of a screen. They didn't all have to have Oculus Quest. They didn't all have to log into Facebook just to use it. Okay, all they did was open it on their computer, and that sort of accessibility already existing tells you that either this or some other program will be the more logical step to something that has such a maligned reputation that they had to change the name. So number 5, avatars. The thing about VRChat is that in some ways it isolates people. You'll see other YouTubers talk about, or VTubers or whatever, talk about how people kind of congregate, and like I thought I'd love this, I thought I'd love this stuff, and I don't really. I'm sorry. It's there's something too uncanny about it. There's something too realistic. They're great looking to see, but to represent myself as something that I don't really have full control over the emotions, and it's just so kind of, whereas I love this because I hate this because I'm breaking out of character, and I've never really looked like this. And I've never really looked like this in any of the comics or anything. I never really had that much like person, ness to me. Always been kind of a squiggle. So I just felt, always been a cartoon, and this one fits. But then it's like I feel awkward hanging out with these guys, and maybe with these guys, and it's like it's either I want to be in a room where everyone's different and looks totally different, or else I guess I would want to be with other cartoon animals like myself, and it's really hard to find them because you're either an animal or you're hyper corgi. So so here I am in my happy medium all alone. and I'm doomed, of course. That's why the channel is doomed. You guys have your choice, okay? Corgi or bobbit or talking cattle, okay? Can't be a cat. You wouldn't want to be a raven either. I don't think things are going to turn out too well for them. Why else is meta going to fail? Yeah, and then number 6 on why it's going to fail. Video games. The thing about meta is this technology is a lot better suited for video games. Okay, that now to understand why, I'm just gonna explain and why it's not as suited for like a business call or a Zoom meeting or something or a conference. Like that's Meta's big idea is everyone's gonna sit around in a virtual conference table. Like let's just have a virtual desk that you sit in front of while you're sitting in front of your actual desk. Like have they thought about this? Why would you do that when you could be in a lot cooler like sort of conference area? Like why even have a desk? Desks are there for the real world. So again, there's this like lack of distinction between the real world and the fake world, and the way that going back to the way Mark created his first app. What was that really? That was the virtual world, which is the system of arbitrary biased, somebody's opinion of what's hot and what's not, being collated into was basically a spreadsheet, which is the soul of all of the internet. It's just some spreadsheet somewhere in numbers. Everything on the internet, including this, is just a spreadsheet of numbers, guys. And that then going back into the real world and affecting it. So that's Mark's ultimate, goal, is to control the real world from computer lines, to control actual human behavior with computer code. And that's what he wants, is to create a virtual office where they, whether we're talking about managers or probably, algorithms that are watching you do whatever work you want, this is the new reality they want to create rather than an extension of the real world into, like something that, is relaxing and fun to do once in a while, which I'm doing. And that means I'm winning. I'm beating you, Mark. I'm beating you because I bought your system. And guess what? I haven't even opened Meta. I haven't even gone on it. All I've had to do is had a home screen where the avatar that comes up was like a wrinkly, weird-looking white girl with short blue hair or something. I don't know. And I gave up on it after a while and hit random and wound up with like General Beethoven or General Mozart or something. It was like close enough. I always thought Mozart should have been armed. And the problem with, the thing about avatars, as I've explained, is they aren't really you. Like I said, I'd rather be interfacing with just random things that I'm talking to someone through. I know other people get a lot of enjoyment out of actually existing in this world, and that's fine. But for we're talking about the general public. Everyone's supposed to exist on this, and I don't really think that's healthy. I think it's a lot healthier as an escape, something you do on the side. So anyhow, getting back to video games, what this technology is really good for is not stuff that you could use 2D to do just as well. Because the thing they don't really tell you about when it comes to these goggles, these are, you can think of these as 3D goggles, or VR goggles, is that depth perception is great. And there's a little bit of, I can look at this and say, oh, wow, that's like it looks like it's real in front of me, as long as it's moving and I'm moving it, back and forth. The thing is, as soon as I stop, it becomes a 2D image. And in general, when you're experiencing the world, most of the time you're experiencing it 2-dimensionally in your brain, unless you're actually interacting in some way. Like now, if you got a game where you've got a gun and you got to shoot, it's great. It's like way better. Even flight simulators, it changes them so much that it is literally a game changer. It the way that your eye lines up with the reticle changes, the way that you sight your enemies, the way that you're experiencing, aircraft, and this could go for any vehicle game or combat game or just any game in general. It's a totally different experience, and it's great. Outside of, again, the limitations of this headset, which is a pain in the ass to put on and wear and for any extended period of time. And the thing about headsets too is that it's like putting blinders on. Like, you cannot see anything around you. You can pass through, tap it, but I'm always worried, like there could be a guy with a gun like standing in front of me, pointing it at me, and I wouldn't know. He could have slipped in the house somehow, opened my door without me knowing. But, and I'm talking too loud, to hear his breathing. As you can hear my breathing so loud through the Oculus headset. Another issue, it picks up every disgusting mouth sound that I make. Maybe that's just my enunciation. But like there's a lack of security. You can't see your surroundings. You're either in the goggles or out of them. And I don't know if they got to find some way where you can have it both. And I know that they talk about AR. Maybe that is the future, but then you can't be totally immersed in this. So I all I'm saying really is that it would be nice to have some sort of like square constantly, or some sort of like little viewport, like a heads up display where you can constantly see out. And also it'd be great to actually be able to read a script, that way. But I don't know, they don't do that for some reason. And even with pass through, you get this black and white. I don't know if it's like this on every system. And it's really, it's another indication to me that they're trying to separate you from reality. So getting back, so it's just a wonderful thing for video games. And I think for like graphical design and all sorts of applications where you want to like look at something 3-dimensionally or interact 3-dimensionally with something, it would be great. But then they're like, for conferencing, why go to all the extra bother to watch a PowerPoint that is like on 2D on a board, And I think that because this is a video game, and it's sold as a video game price, and definitely the kids that are all buying it, they're playing video games on it. That's what it's going to become known as. Not as like this is the new world or whatever. That's fine for the people that want to do that, and do kind of a Second Life thing with it, and definitely for people that like us funny animals. This is the only way we can really become funny animals. Virtually. It's been kind of hard to live on those pages, where you got to have someone actually open the book and look at us, or experience us, even on the screens and stuff. So this is like, haha, I'm alive, alive. And, I've come to life and attained, a virtual form, maybe not corporeal, not yet anyway. But again, like I said, the future, it is coming. And that also brings up this point of you're trying to make something real that people are using to not be real. Do you understand what I mean? They're shooting people in video games. They're killing people. They're maiming people. They're playing, I used to remember watching PewDiePie do like the sword game where he'd like swing a sword into somebody or an axe. And are we going to start treating that as everyday real life? And does anyone not see the danger in mixing that with the concept of an actual place that exists? Because that's the question that you have to ultimately ask about this technology. Do you really want it to be real? And that's the question you got, that Mark kind of has to ask is this the future that he really wants? Maybe it is, maybe that's, he wants the corgis to take over, maybe that's how they get us to march into the factories, because again, like, you'll have your line, and then you'll have your lines of people, and I don't know, maybe they'll all be wearing headsets, so it looks like they're going to Disneyland. I mean, everybody loves Disneyland. And the corgis will just kind of stand there and kind of, keep the line going, and then it'll be just nothing but, hyper corgis, robots, and a few crows and cats around, and then the cats will begin to work their dark magic. And I don't think we really want to risk that, do we? So, and then there's like number 8. So, okay, let's say you want to make this real, like this is now your job. Your job is now, you live in the virtual world. And so as a virtual creator, your only real output is going to be virtual, right? You're going to be like firmly within the realm of intellectual property, which, of course, lends itself to the issue, like who owns this and this and that, and who owns this, I don't know how long I can keep this one up. And fair use is where it is, but until the Supreme Court changes their opinion or something, or some law gets passed that makes all this actually real. And I think in the future, at some point, we have to resist that. We can't have things that are not real become real. Just so that some people can make money, forcing everybody to accept that they're real, even though they aren't. It's everyone's own opinion. But the thing about this idea of turning everything into real estate, limiting it and blockchaining or whatever machinations that they're going to use, it makes all of this real. It makes every virtual thing you're doing, all your thoughts, all the things that you thought, this place that you go to and it's not real. So immediately your first reaction is, I don't have to act like my real self. But hey, everyone's watching. And where's the line then? I think everything starts to just break down at that point, because you start to wonder, what is your real self? What thoughts are real? Are things happening here actually happening? Are they happening in some other reality? Or, again, is this just a spreadsheet of numbers that's being processed through a couple of screens aimed at your eyeballs? And I think it's the latter. And the reality is that of course this is real. I'm real. Look at me. I'm talking to you, aren't I? And I've existed for thousands of years, and I will exist for thousands of years more as one of the lizard people out there. Just like I'm sure Mark will. He's always been a creature that existed in the darkest depths of America. He found his host body, at the right place and time, and has exacted his own brand of lizard personism onto the mammals. Because it's kind of a secret, but I'll say it here. Lizards, we don't really trust warm-blooded things, mammals in general. We saw what happened to the dinosaurs when they became warm-blooded, and we've just been content, to hang out on our own terms, go with the flow of temperature variations. And just personally, me, I don't really trust anything that remains active after the ambient temperature has dropped below a certain point. Okay. That's why I hide under rocks most of the time. And another thing is that, warm-blooded mammals include cats. That's all I got to say about that. But getting back to this idea that you're the online creator now, you're creating material, that doesn't exist. Is that really fun? like this is the thing. So episode 8. Here we are, episode 8. I'm having fun doing this. I realize the amount of work it involves. And it's made me think about what it takes to really do this successfully and make money. And research different YouTubers and seeing what they're doing. And it's like, wow, that's a nightmare. I mean, that's more nightmarish than this place. You have to come up with brand new ideas on a regular basis, in addition to keeping up with whatever's popular, playing whatever popular game is out there, regardless of whether you want to play it or not, just based on what other people, not even based on whether it's a decent game or not, or movie or whatever media we're talking about. But, 9 times out of 10, it's a movie or it's a game. And even if people hate it, as long as they're talking about it, you're talking about it, And that's every week for the rest of your life. This is what you do now, and until you get tired of it and can't take it anymore. And I can just see this existence where, like, the only place you can, for some reason, they're going to find some way to make the virtual world necessary. And then the only way you're going to be able to like be there is to contribute to it constantly in this way that just never ends. And you're always going to be nervous about, like, what if I can't think of an idea for next week? What if I can't come up with a good idea? What if I stop being funny? What if I never was funny to start with? Which is, something that I kind of wonder about here. I think I'm 20 views or so. No, I'm not getting good. Are they up? I didn't even want to look. I got three views on the first one last time. Shit, I don't know. I'm running out of ideas. So look at this. See, like, what if you just stop mid sentence and, like, you can't come up with the funny anymore? That's a nightmare. I mean, I'd rather be talking cattle. But and it works for some people. For all I know, it might work for me. This has been great as it is, as just an occasional essay. It's almost like a live journal, but rather than talk about yourself, you talk about some concept that's bugging your mind, and you've been thinking about all week. And I come up with stupid jokes, and it works for me. And I would be terrified to have to rely on this as a source of income. Which is why, I'm going to stop doing a regular schedule, because it became apparent to me that wasn't, a necessity when it came to YouTube. What is a necessity, I noticed, is like hundreds and hundreds of videos. And that's great. As a side thing, it's great. As something like, if I really came up with some idea that would work and wanted to, like, do that, because there's definitely, like, games I want to play, but I wouldn't want to get into something where I had to play some popular game just because everyone else was, and I wouldn't want to get into something where I was doing this all the time. And that's kind of, again, you marry this concept that I'm talking about with having to wear this headset and be in this other realm that your eyeballs are, like, constant in your occipital lobe is constantly dealing with, trying to process and understand. And I just don't see it happening. Another thing I want to talk about with the technology, it's dark. It's not just the darkness of, like, you've got blinders on, and the resolution, it's kind of dark, and they can't show it too bright or it will burn your eyes out. But just in general, there's something about every single virtual world I go to, even if it's outside, there's this weird, like, darkness between the pixels. And there's something about the psychology of that, of not being outside in actual light, or even in an open room and stuff, it gets to you after a while. It's not a comfortable environment to exist in. And that's without people that get sick or seasick, or have motion illness. I've actually gotten myself motion illness a couple times doing this, and I'm pretty good with that stuff. I can go out to sea all day. Most lizards, they stay away from that, unless you're one of those weirdos in the Galapagos. But what do they think? Those guys, I don't know what their deal is. They swim in the ocean and they eat algae. Why would you eat algae, man? So anyhow, that's about it. I think I can't really think of any other ideas why. But No matter what, it's doomed. Mark, if you're watching this, hello. I hate your Facebook service because it basically alienated all my friends and family from each other. Thanks for that. Thanks for the last 10 or 15 years of, social infighting and everything. No. But oh no, it happened. I've changed. It's too late. Save yourself while you still can. Run. Oh, but like and subscribe before you do. Goodbye, everybody. My hands are huge. Is this the one with the new physics or whatever? Oh yeah, look at that. Hold on, you see this? Oh yeah. And wait, oh no, see this? It can't. Oops, it can't see my hand. Where's the hair? There we go. Nope. There we go. See that? Yeah. Floppity floppity. No nose. Oh. Jesus Christ. Jazzercise. You. That's all you're going to get of this. So in summation, to use the words of any poorly written article on Yahoo by an intern who just graduated college and has no idea how to actually write articles, or the average, writing level on John Oliver's show. Again, massive zoophile. Meta, as I said, is doomed. There's just no way. And I'll kind of leave you with the last reason why. The first thing that I looked for when I got Meta going, or got my set going, to the avatar creation, and it was like I looked in, where was the giraffe? Okay, we were shown giraffes. We were shown a giraffe sitting at the conference with his head way up above everyone else's, with hooves and colorful spots, looking very giraffe-like, and nowhere to be found. I mean, maybe it's there. Okay, like I said, I haven't actually booted the world or whatever. I don't know what that was actually showing, but I've looked around VRChat and stuff. I mean, there's like I'm sure there's a giraffe out there, but I wanted it right away. I wanted it right now, and it kind of makes me realize, the obvious when it comes to being virtual. Probably giraffe would be the best thing ever, wouldn't it? Because your head's way up there and you can see above everyone, or a brontosaurus, I guess, or a bird of some sort, a crane. I don't know if it was large enough and had a long neck, and why stop there? Why not have just a head on a stick? And also, you're forgetting the annoyance value of being a giraffe, as any appearance of a giraffe in a funny animal movie tells you, they're always in the way, and there's always someone complaining about how their heads are in the way and behind them. But that's a value. You get a rise out of somebody that you're pissing off, and why stop there? Why not be like a giraffe, but you're a 500-foot tall giraffe? What if you just like were the size of the city and you could run around and just rampage and destroy everything? And I'm wondering at this point if maybe that's Mark Zuckerberg's actual avatar, because the thing about Zuckerberg's avatar, he showed it on TV and it kind of looks like him, and you're like, dude, there's no way. First of all, the dude's a lizard, and no scales or nothing. Like for sure he could have at least had slit eyes or something. Again, an indication that Zuckerberg is in fact a lizard, because any human being would have joked about it, or made some sort of little reference, put little slit eyes, or a tail pop up or something. But not Zuck. He wants to create like this eerily kind of like you enough to make you be afraid that you might be replaced by this thing at some point with computer code, because it looks like you. And if he's watching all the time, it can act like you. It can know exactly how you sound and talk, and your behavior and your gestures. The more you feed it, the more it eats you alive and becomes you. It is what it eats, which is you. And I think Zuckerberg's, probably the last reason Meta will fail is because Zuckerberg has not revealed his true form to us yet. Okay, he wants us to all think that he's human, and of course he created an avatar to further try to convince us. But like I said, if you were the Lord and Creator of all before you, and you had your entire verse in front of you, like, come on, guys, wouldn't we all want to be like 300 foot tall and able to just rampage and destroy everything in sight? Don't you want like your people to flee before you? So I think, just personally, this is my opinion. I think Zuck does have an avatar out there, and it is no doubt terrifying and horrifying, and he's just he's waiting. It's kind of like sitting out there in the metaverse ocean, hibernating, underground, waiting for its time to rise up. And the only thing it really needs are souls in the metaverse, participation, users, as they call them. And as soon as he gets enough people kind of like in the city, he will rise up out of the water and destroy everyone. Because I think that's Zuck's ultimate kind of dream. Now, I don't know what kind of lizard Zuck is, but most lizards like us are pretty small. We have some issues with height, and it can create, kind of situations where we feel like maybe we're a little ignored, and not paid attention to, and maybe because we hang out by ourselves a lot and we're not very, we're not, let's just face it, we're not too attractive. We're kind of plain looking. We don't have much personality to us. It kind of creates a hatred of the world and society at general at times. And it's fine as long as you be yourself, okay? As long as you can just accept the lizard that you are, everyone's cool because it's funny. It's really funny, to be a dumb lizard like this. And all I'm saying, in summation, is that, Meta is doomed because Meta is doom. It will be doom in the form of a giant fire-breathing, likely, Mark Zuckerbergosaurus, or Mark Zuckerbergzilla, or Mark Zuckerberg Thra, Mark Zuckerberg Dan, maybe Mark Zuckerberg Dra. Yeah, there were a couple of those, right? Meta Man, the ultimate meta human hybrid. Anyhow, whatever they call it, he will come on shore, and at that point it will be a battle, I think, between hyper corgis and their robot allies, and this giant monster of Mark Zuckerberg coming to destroy probably anything that isn't under his control. Because we'll probably have like other cities at that point in the overall verse, beyond metaverse, beyond or whatever program he's creating. But of course, he'll have his monsters and all of these, and like I said, the hyper corgis and the robots will have to band together and settle their differences because and there really aren't that many. If you look around here, you'll find other avatars where the hybridization has already come together. You have these things that are like, are they really animals, or are they machine, or both? So maybe it's not a bad thing that Meta is doomed, and that Meta will be doomed, because I don't think Zuck will win in the end. Because, like I said, someone will just press the delete button or block him, and then it won't work, and everyone will have a nice laugh and get on with their lives and realize that, hey, this is just a lot of fun and not real, and nothing to be terribly afraid of, and then they'll stop calling it Meta and start calling it the virtual world, which is what it is, because it doesn't exist, guys. It doesn't exist. How many times do I have to say it doesn't exist? It's not real. It's not real. and you're trying to make it real, and you got to ask yourself one final time, is Is this what you want to be real? So anyhow, that's the season. I got 8 up, and I'm always happy about that. It is the end of the season, but it's not the end of the show, and I hope to be doing more of these as time permits and ideas. As long as the creative well don't run dry and the ideas don't stop flowing, leave comments, please. Maybe you got some ideas. But yeah, seriously, thanks for watching. It's been fun. I really appreciate all the feedback I've gotten and the people, just anyone that's taken the time to watch. It's been a lot of fun for me, and I hope to bring you guys lots and lots of more imaginary joy. See you next Tuesday. What's up? Number 9, number 8, number 7, number 6, number 5, number 4, number 3, number 2, number 1, and the 10th number 10.